So my name is Philip Aguilar, and I am the head coach at the Eyrie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I have been doing Jiu-Jitsu for over 20 years now. So I've always been an active kid. I always played baseball, sports here and there. When I graduated high school, wasn't in love with like baseball anymore, so I wanted to try something different, something new. Martial arts was like something that always called me, and I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That was the one thing that I think like resonated with me, and its real world effectiveness, and I just fell in love. I was immediately hooked when I found Jiu-Jitsu. So as you come up in the belt ranks, you're going to always have students, new students coming in, and as a good training partner, you want to be able to help everybody, and especially new folks that come in and trying out the sport, because eventually those people are going to be your training partners, and you want them to be as good as possible. So I really fell in love with helping people out, and as I got higher and higher into the ranks, I basically would have people come up to me, hey, Coach Phil, can we do a private? Can we, set up a lesson? And that was something that really just kind of like, it got to me to the point where I was just like, wow, this person really wants to learn from me. And opening up a gym wasn't really like my goal, but I always thought about, well, what would happen if I had my own gym, So, and here we are. So I'm a third-degree black belt. My coach is Ricardo Miller Chagas Ribeiro, but people know him as Frangina. So that's where I got my black belt from. We represent Paragon, the larger association. My gym is just a small association under Paragon. So my gym is called the Eyrie, and we've been open for over 7 years now. When I started looking at the possibility of opening up a gym, I'm a Southside kid. I was born and raised on 12th and Ajo, and I know how there's just so many athletes and the quality of people and training. The people that live down here, they're just tough. So I always wanted to open up a gym in my side of town, my hood. And luckily I had the opportunity to do that and give back to my community, to my Southside community. We've accomplished a lot of things. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished in really a short time that we've been open. I love teaching kids. I love coaching kids. We've done some great things with adults. I have some adults that have done won major titles, world titles, American nationals and stuff like that. I'm more proud of the kids' accomplishments and as a team what we've accomplished as a kids for the kids teams. I have kids that have won Kids Pans and Kids American Nationals and Jiu-Jitsu Con. But I would say for sure winning the state title is a very important thing to us. I don't think any Tucson team has ever won a state championship, let alone 3 in a row. We just won our 3rd one a few months ago. And we're very proud of that. On top of that, I would say the city tournaments, the Wild West Jiu-Jitsu tournament, we win that one as well. We take a big team and we get first place in those local tournaments too, and we love Wild West Jiu-Jitsu tournament. That's a hard one. That can be tricky. Not everybody is all about competing. Some kids or adults come here to just learn self-defense. And that's great. And that we don't push competitions. We try to foster an area or a gym of building people confidence and giving them the strength to, hey, that's something that I think I could do someday. And it's funny because a lot of the kids or adults that come in that are very shy, that never think that they're going to compete, they eventually come out of their shell. They go to the tournaments, they see the team doing well, and they're like, oh, I've rolled with that person before, and they're winning gold. I can do that. And they get that bug and they get that itch, and then then they just jump in there and it just goes from there. If you look, everybody's having a good time. I think most jiu-jitsu gyms can say that people come to jiu-jitsu to relieve stress, make friends, have a good time. You got these people literally trying to choke them, murder each other right now, and they're having a good time. The parents for our kids teams, I have such a great group of parents. Like they understand that having their child or children train jiu-jitsu is such an important thing. You know, I compare it to going to school. I compare it to brushing their teeth, and you know, those are so important, you know, things for a child and their development. You know, it's cool to play basketball and football, but I always say, you know, when the time comes, because it will, are you going to want your child to remember what they learned in gymnastics, or are you going to want them to remember what they learned in jiu-jitsu, you know? So, yeah, and a lot of parents may think that, you know, I think a lot of parents are, again, most of the time they bring their child to jiu-jitsu because they are either getting bullied at school, or they just want them to build self-confidence, or maybe they're just really wild and they need some control. But I think once they kind of see the program and the things that we can do with these kids, even if they're all over the place or if they're really, really quiet and they're very timid, once they see, wow, my son or daughter just did an armbar or choked a kid right now, you know, they're like, oh, they can compete, they can jump in there. And then, of course, I'm always going to be the encouraging, you know, factor in that. You know, I say I'm the third parent, you know, because a lot of the kids here, they kind of look at me like a parent, you know, and they come to me with not just jiu-jitsu problems, but life problems, you know. And, you know, if the parents are kind of iffy on their kids competing, I let them know, like, your son or daughter is killing it right now. They are ready. And they believe in me and what I have to say, and, you know, they trust me, so they do well. We have several levels in kids groups. Like, we have our little kids classes, we call them our tiny warriors, and then we have like our older kids programs. Of those two groups, we have two different groups. We have like a beginner's class, and we have a more advanced class, or like a competition class. So, you know, in the level 1 class, we teach the basics, you know, how to escape bad positions, how to shrimp, how to, you know, reverse a position if you have to, and then maybe throw in some submissions. On the level 2 class, it's a little bit more advanced. I think what kind of sets us apart from other jiu-jitsu gyms is we don't play games. We don't put cones up or anything. We get right into jiu-jitsu. The classes are only an hour long, you know. So we go right to drilling. We do our warm-ups. We go into the position of the week or technique of the week. And I think a lot of the parents appreciate that I teach the kids like they're little adults, you know. The games and you know, those are fun and cool, and I know some other gyms do that. Nothing wrong with that. But again, I'm not trying to teach these kids how to play steal the bacon. I want them to learn jiu-jitsu. I want them to spend as much time as they can drilling and learning jiu-jitsu. So basically, I mean, as far as what we're doing here at the gym and at the Eyrie, it's nothing special. I don't think, you know, we don't have any magical thing that we're doing different. You know, I get a lot of parents from other teams, you know, asking us what we're doing different, or what, you know, what our secret is. And I don't think there's anything different that we do. You know, I think every gym trains hard. Every gym has, you know, a specific way that they teach. And there's a lot of great gyms in Tucson. There's a lot of great gyms in Phoenix, you know, and I think we just train hard and we keep our head down, and we just focus on the tournaments that are coming up next. As far as just advice for any of my students that compete, I think first and foremost, I always let them know I don't care, or the coaches don't care if you win or lose. We don't. You know, the fact that you went out there, you were brave enough to step on the mat and go up against somebody you don't know, you've never rolled with before, that right there is a win. The outcome of the match is irrelevant. You know, they gave it their all, they tried their hardest, and, you know, it kind of calms them down, because there's a lot of nerves, especially if they're kids, you know, they're scared. I would say the adults are more scared more than the kids. The kids are pretty brave, but yeah, that's really the main message is, you know, as long as you go out there and you give it your all, that's all that matters to us as the coaches, as the team.